Robbie Blaze from Robbie Blaze Music Promotions. Here I have Pat and Ted from Vorasek. Here to join us, thankfully. Thanks for coming out.
No worries, man. Thanks for having us.
So, where did the name Vorasek come from?
Like we were throwing around names, and we had a bunch of things, and we had this one. It was Vorasek 22, and it was a totally different spelling and everything of Vorasek. And what it was originally from was this guy, this piano player from the 1800s, Jan Vaclav Vorasek, and he was the first guy to. Well, he coined the term impromptu music, and he'd hold shows where he'd just walk up to the piano and just play whatever came to his mind, and just kind of jammed it out. And so we took Vorasek and kind of took it to the meaning like just to jam.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice last name. Wanted to create a new meaning out of it, changed some letters around to make it more.
So, what makes you guys so unique?
Just like different backgrounds. I feel like anyway. Like Ted's got a real like sort of rock and roll kind of background. He used to play in a band. What was it called? A Foreigner's Journey
from Boston to Kansas.
Which is a whole bunch of classic rock names, right? Foreigner, Journey, Boston, Kansas, right?
Yeah, we used to do covers of like old classic rock songs.
I used to be in a band called Silver Screen Quotations back in high school, and they were really like sort of prog punk. You ever heard like At the Drive-In or something like that? It's kind of along that kind of lines. And Joe just comes from, actually Joe didn't even play drums before Vorasek, right? He played rock band, and Matt's got a and bass, and Matt's got a whole like metal background too. So we're unique because we take all of these elements from all the music we love, and we put them together into a sort of well thought out package, I feel like.
And it's not just something that we like, it's not just music that we just sit and write and it's really complex stuff, you know, we try and make it something that other people can like too. So we take elements of, you know, the metal heads and the other, like the people who like a little softer, poppier stuff, they can all find something to like in our music rather than like, you know, that we're not very specific. Yeah. We're open, we're big and open.
This is a good story, actually. I met Ted online, actually. I don't know if you've ever heard of a band or the site called Bandmix. It's like a classified or personal for musicians, basically. So I went on this one day and I put up. I was like, I'm looking for a couple of musicians to play with because I really wanted like dedicated musicians at that point, right? And Ted found me online and said. Emailed me a couple times, and we got together and practiced, and it was really awkward, and but eventually, like, we worked through it, you know. As new friendships are kind of always at the very beginning, it's awkward, you know. But
well, especially meeting like that was funny.
Yeah, online, you know, like he lives out in Bath or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I live in Kingston, so he had to drive a whole way, and I was like, oh man, he drove all this way. I should at least jam with him, you know. Yeah. Yeah, we met online, and I've known Joe since public school, and I knew Matt from high school.
The
so
devil.
Joe's Joe. Trying to get on the interview, dude.
What's up, man?
So, how long have you guys been playing individually then?
Well, I started playing bass right after grade 8, 7, I think, years now.
Joe Peeler enters the fray. I've been playing for 8 years now, almost 9 years. Yeah, on guitar and piano before that. So.
I've been playing for as long as the band's been together.
Yeah, it's a 2-year anniversary soon, isn't it?
Yeah, coming up on the 27th actually.
So you'll be a 2-year drummer.
Yep.
But yeah.
Started it on the rock band.
I'm glad you could join us too, Joe. So what was the story behind the song Chief? That's probably one of my personal favorites.
Yeah, right on.
It's kind of, I feel like it's one of our
underplayed ones?
Well, not even underplayed, just like it's like one of those ones that like people don't really acknowledge as much, but
I do find like hearing you say it's one of your favorites. I've heard that from like a few like random people here and there, and it's
kind of my girlfriend's favorite too. So.
Yeah, it's cool.
The story behind it is Ted came up with the line do 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 do, and yeah, the bass sort of groove and stuff, and he brought that, and Joe came up with the beat to whatever, right? And the only thing that sort of went along with that was just A minor, open G, A minor, open G, right? So the story behind it though is that the lyrics aren't so much about anything. They were inspired by. I drove across Canada with my girlfriend when I was in when I just got out of high school. I just found the money to go across Canada. It was only anyway, so which is a lot. I was drove across Canada, and going into BC, I got to the border of Alberta and BC right at midnight, and was just driving through trying to find Banff so I could find a fucking hotel to stay at. Right, it's like pitch black. So it's sort of that feeling, you know, like you come to BC and when you see the mountains after being in the prairies all day, it's really huge and it's really cold and it's really all those sort of things, right? And I wanted to sort of capture that essence and what it's sort of like to be in sort of northern Canada as well, where they don't have sun, you know, for 4 months a year or whatever, or 6 months a year. So
we actually named it too, like before we had lyrics, as we do
Just
with like
just
a long
kind of,
song.
yeah, named off the beat and then kind of the groove.
Yeah, it's
a little bit, yeah.
So who are your personal influences, like your major idols?
My major idol is fucking Cedric Big Slaughter Zalba from the Mars Volta and Omar Rodriguez Lopez. Amazing musicians. It sort of seems like they don't have a fucking clue what they're doing at times, but I kind of like that about them, you know? At the Drive-In is such a huge band for me. Like, I probably wouldn't play music without At the Drive-In.
As far as bassists go, like Paul McCartney just is a pretty obvious one. He was the first bassist I ever learned his bass lines, and I just I try and write something that like I don't know, people can follow along to. It's not just like another bass line just staying behind everybody. And then recently, a big influence of mine has been Mark Foster, Foster the People, for writing influences and stuff. So see how that goes.
Joe?
I guess I don't know. I didn't really like start with like a really big musical kind of background, but like I do listen to a lot of like AC/DC and like Metallica kind of stuff for that kind of like really heavy driving drum beat. That's kind of the style I like to listen and play to. So
Simplicity, but sort of happiness.
yeah, it's definitely there, but it's just kind of driving music. Where these guys can kind of make it a little more.
Out there?
Tons.
Yeah, there's so much to.
Oh my god, there's so many rules that we've sort of come up with over the little while. Actually, me and Joe are working on a book for that kind of stuff too. If you the major ones is never fucking pay for a gig. Never like you can pay like a little bit for a gig, but never pay like more than $100 for a gig. You know, like
pay to play. Like rent it. Like if you're gonna rent out your venues, that's
make
fine,
sure that you can.
That's different. But
yeah.
But if it's one of those shows where you're paying to play.
And if you're going out and doing all the work and selling the tickets, then you know some promoter shouldn't be fucking profiting off of you, and you shouldn't be making no money. You know, you may as well just book your own show. So never pay some stupid promotional company to play some show. Like we got an offer. There's this thing called Band Warfare in like Hamilton, Ontario or something, and it's run by Vernon Marshall. He's like, I'm looking for bands to play my indie showcase or whatever, right? And so I go and I have a look at it, and I contact him, and he's just like, alright, it's $60 to play.
Wait. Oh.
And there's no guarantees for out-of-town bands. And I was just like, well, that doesn't sound like the gig for us, man. For up-and-coming bands, though, if you want to make fans, go to open mic nights. That's where people go who want to listen to music, right? Hit up every fucking open mic night for like
we did
for like ever, man, for like months.
Yeah,
just
for sure.
like me and Ted, like Joe used to play every Monday with us at the Draft House, which is now Overtime Sports Bar, and then me and Ted would hit up Brandy's, Queens.
We did the Sly Fox one.
Sly Fox a couple. Like I've done
the
Sly
Grad
Fox a couple
Club.
times, yeah.
Queens one,
Grad
yeah.
Club. And you meet tons of people who are just there to listen to music first off, right?
Fellow musicians, like everything.
And fellow musicians.
So many people to network with, and that's a huge, like that's the best way of networking.
Yeah. Never pay to play. Open mic nights are key. Networking.
Yeah.
Those are the best advice.
Exactly.
So anything else we can keep our eyes open? Second album? Something?
We got an EP in the works. we're doing we're redoing 3 songs from our CD, just super polishing them and just giving them out for a little while. So you can look forward to that. If you see us downtown Kingston and you want a CD, just come up and we'll hand you one for free. For a very limited time. And you can find out when we're doing that on Twitter.
While supplies last.
Yeah, we got a show with Bloodshot Eyes and Ghetto Blaster and Crack Squad and Trash, right?
Yeah.
Who else is playing that show? Right, Kira Long. She was fucking great, man. I saw her at the Battle of the Bands you played at, and they played The Boss is Coming. That was fucking sick. Yeah, and that's going to be an awesome show. So if you're around December 4th.
That's Zappos.
It's Zappos.
Alright, well, thanks for coming out.
Yeah,
for sure.
Thanks, Robbie.
Thanks, man.